There are some things that are illegal in America, but totally okay in Japan.
This might surprise you to hear, since Japan is home to so many strict rules.
So let's see which things are okay to do in Japan and illegal in America. Compared to us, you guys in America are more strict with drinking in public place.
As I understand, it's legal to have an open can or bottle of alcohol while you are in public. So if you want to enjoy a beer in the park, then that's a huge no-no. Of course, if you are at private place or event like a festival, it's okay. But what if you want to have a drink while you are on the public bus? Or how about sipping a beer in a car while your friend is driving? Those can all get you in big trouble in America. In Japan, we love drinking and it's 100% okay to drink in almost all public areas. And if you and your buddies are taking a road trip and the passengers decided to have a drink while on the road,
it's totally okay as long as driver isn't drinking, everyone else can enjoy alcohol. Not only that, but in Japan, alcohol is so easy to get.
You probably know about the alcohol vending machines, right? You can buy a variety of beers, sake, wine, etc. from them. The most interesting part is that most of the machines, you don't need to show an ID to buy something. Of course, they have an ID reader, but it seems that they are usually disabled.
Not only is it easy to get alcohol in Japan, but you can sell it very easily.
You guys need to have a special license that lets you sell alcohol in your store or restaurant. In Japan, as long as you aren't selling alcohol in a closed container, you don't need a license at all.
But there's one area that America have more freedom, is drinking and driving.
As long as your blood alcohol concentration is lower than a certain percentage, it's okay for you to drink and drive.
I was so surprised to hear the story because in Japan we don't have such a rule. If you have only sip of drink, you are forbidden from driving.
Not only that, but riding a bicycle after drinking is illegal too.
If you have a single drink, you have to walk home.
If you saw our video about weird Japanese foods, you know that Japanese people eat lots of crazy stuff.
One of Japanese favorite kind of food is hormone. In English, offal. This is stuff like liver, stomach, heart, and etc.
They are so popular that you can even find guts flavored chips at the convenience in Japan.
One of the more rare parts is lung.
In Japanese, this is called hua, which means fluffy. You can find this at locally owned shops or butcher shops, and even though we don't eat it so often,
you can definitely find it if you really want it. But did you know in America, eating lung is actually illegal?
According to the USDA Food Safety and Inspection Service, livestock lung shall not be saved for use as human food.
I read that lungs were banned in America because the USDA was worried that eating lung will make people sick.
They inspected hundreds of samples of cow lung and found things like pollen, fungal spores.
So they decided it's not safe for humans to eat. So if you're curious about eating lung, you can try it in Japan. Lung meat isn't the only thing that is banned in America.
Horse meat is also a big no-no.
Well, actually, it's not illegal to eat horse meat, but it's illegal to produce or sell it.
It's also illegal to import it from another country, and it's not regulated like chicken, beef, pork, etc. So that's another reason why it's illegal to sell it.
But in Japan, eating horse meat is legal here. You can find horse meat pretty much everywhere here.
Big thank you to today's sponsor, Skillshare! Skillshare is an online learning platform where you can learn tons of things anytime, anywhere. I've actually been taking this class during my free time, iPhone photography, how to take pro photos on your iPhone by Dale McManus. Dale is a professional photographer who takes amazing photos with just his phone. And through his class, I've been learning how to do the same. I really think this class will help me to make better videos and content for all of you. But if photography isn't your thing, then check out the classes on animation, lifestyle, productivity, and so much more. Skillshare is the perfect place to explore your passions, level up your skills so you can make career-changing moves, or just become better at what you already do. Skillshare is ad-free and has new premium classes launched every week. And if you were one of the first 1,000 people to use the link below or my code Mrs. Eats, you'll get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. You'll also be supporting the channel so much, so join Skillshare today!
When you walk around the city in Japan, you might notice how random all buildings are.
Sometimes you can see cafes, shops, or even small factories surrounded by a bunch of houses and apartment buildings. This is pretty different to how things are in America, where you will rarely see houses in a commercial area or factories in a residential area. I rarely saw the variety of houses, schools, shops, factories, etc. mixed together like in Japan. Why is that?
Our zoning laws are more flexible compared to ones in America.
In the US, the zoning laws are very strict for certain kinds of buildings. If you own some land and it's zoned for commercial use, that means that you cannot build a house on it because you would violate zoning law. If you do, you could be fined or punished by doing it. Here's a simple graph that shows the basic idea of zoning in America. So let's say I wanted to open my dream store, a shop that only sells erotic JoJo fan fiction. This would be considered commercial property, so I can only build it in Zone D. If I try to build it in Zone A, I could be restricted.
But let's compare this with Japanese zoning.
As you can see, there is much more flexibility to build in many zones. So, if I wanted to build my own shop, I could build it in Zone D, E, and F. Not only that, but I can also build my house, which is residential, right next to my store.
In Japan, we have a lot more flexibility to build within different zones. That's why you can see a lot of different kind of buildings in a city here. With these kind of freedoms, you might think Japan is such an advanced country.
But we are definitely not as high-tech as you think, and this video will explain the different ways that Japan is behind the rest of the world.
I'll see you in that video. Thanks for watching. Okini!